got some executive salary, your remuneration here, Mr. Curran. I think you said you're on $500,000. Why do you need to claim your expenses for going out to a dinner in a foreign country? Like, surely when you're paid that much money, you should be able to pay your own way for extracurricular activities, shouldn't you? I mean, it's taken the mickey out of the taxpayer when you paid such a large amount of money to then turn around and be claiming, there's hundreds, I've got the expense account here showing thousands of dollars being spent on meals. I mean, it's a bit rich, don't you think? I mean, there's one here for QT Canberra, executive workshop dinner for ASA executive at Capital Bar and Grill, $893. Can't you guys pay your own way? I mean, I'm looking at the salaries here for people: $870,000, $500,000, $443,000, $470,000, $448,000, $401,000, $397,000, $333,000. I'll note that's the Chief People and Culture Officer, so that's a lazy $333,000 for culture. Can't you pay for your own meals?
Senator, part of the organisation process is that travelling and having forums like that is that we're able to be reimbursed for reasonable expenses as part of the running of the organisation. So, for example, when we're overseas, is that some of those things is that I'm there with other members of staff, and then we're going out, and I pay for on behalf of the organisation, and so they don't get travelling allowance when that occurs. So
why are you going overseas? I mean, given that you're an expert, presumably because of the amount that you paid, why are you going overseas? Because this is I'm just looking at the meal claims here. I'd hate to think how much the flights and accommodation were.
So that trip there to Frankfurt and Leipzig was looking at our new digital aerodrome service that we're putting into Western Sydney and we're establishing in Canberra, because that's where the operations are occurring with Frequentis, who is the supplier. The mention there for the accommodation in Paris was I was visiting Thales, who is the major supplier of our new air traffic control system. That was the reason for the travel.
So are they software providers, are they?
Correct, and hardware providers.
So why can't they, if they're trying to sell you the software, incur the cost for them to fly here rather than you fly over there? Why don't they fly here at their expense, not the taxpayer expense? Because I assume you're going to end up signing a deal to spend more taxpayers' dollars with these guys.
These are already in contract. They're already in contract, and as a part of our site acceptance testing, and that's where some of the things are provided from. Also, in that particular trip, I was already in Europe on holiday, where I had paid for the airfare and all that, and I was coming off the back end of holidays to make sure that I visited, because we had teams in Paris as well as in Leipzig, and I went and joined them on the way through. But I was already at the airfare was completely at my expense. The organisation.
But what about the other staff? They got paid to fly over there, did they?
Yeah, these are our air traffic control, our subject matter experts, and all that sort of stuff in accepting the technology to bring back here as part of the contract.
I would have thought a part of the contract was they incur the costs of providing the contract, but it looks like we're paying over and above for an overseas holidays. That's what it looks like to me.
That is not the case, and there are, for probity reasons, there's the contractual arrangements to be bring in, but we also, for certification purposes, need to send our own team to check and you don't want the supplier paying for the people that are checking their work.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Authorised G. Rennick, LNP Chermside.